It's not plagiarizing, you're not stealing anything. It's a publicly available resource for everyone to use. So go on there, print out the notes, download it. I don't care what you do, just get those notes. Sometimes we're just not there. Sometimes you just don't feel like studying, and it's fine. Hey my loves, and you're welcome or welcome back to my channel. So I'm Priscilla and I go by Silasa on here, and on the channel we discuss everything education, lifestyle, so like productivity tips here and there and things like that. So if you're interested in like content like this, just make sure that you subscribe and turn your post notifications on so you don't miss anything that I post. I post videos every week, so yeah, just make sure that you don't miss anything. Today I'm going to talk about how I got an A in my A-level chemistry exam. I'm going to break this video into a couple of sections. I'm going to go through some smart targets that you can set and how to go about them, through some resources that I use in my own success, and I'm also going to have some templates that you can download and use for yourself as well. So a little bit of background before I start. I am not a naturally gifted person, okay? I do well in most of my exams, yes, I'm not gonna lie about that, but I always have to work really hard for my success in exams. I'm not the kind of person who just turn up and do well. Like, if I don't study, if I don't put in effort, I will fail. So I don't want you to think, oh, this is some girl who's just smart and doesn't have to study and just sitting here telling you what to do. No, I am not that kind of gifted. I wish I was. I don't have to do like so much. I don't have to do too much, but unfortunately I'm not. So I actually do have to put in some work for my grades. So before I went to grammar school, I attended a low performance state school. So it's not like I was like raised in a grammar school environment or anything, and that's why I got the grades I got. No, I've had to work for these grades. So I don't want you to cap yourself at a B or a C if you're in a low performance state school thinking, oh, the A's and A stars are only reserved for the grammar school or the private school kids. That is not true. So if that's what you're thinking at the moment, I want you to change that, okay? It's very much attainable if you do put in the effort and if you do work for it, okay? Start small. Honestly, you don't have to go to the library every day to do well. I did go to the library a couple of times, but most of the things that I did were very much practical, just in my room or staying back after school. Just small things that really did contribute to my success in getting good grades. Also, believe in yourself. Honestly, if you're putting in the effort and you're doing all that you can, believe that you can get every grade that you've envisioned for yourself. Like I said, they don't reserve these grades for these private school kids or grammar school kids. It's for everyone. It's up for grabs. Don't wait till you feel like studying to start studying, because honestly, none of us feel like studying if we're gonna keep it a buck. Like, sometimes I did not feel like studying, but you remember that these exams are actually coming up, and if you want to get these grades, because most of you are trying to get into courses or apprenticeships or unis that might rely on the grades you get in your A-levels, make sure that you're ready to work with these grades even if you don't feel like studying, okay? And I'm going to give you some practical things you can do to make studying feel a bit more casual than some mundane task that you have to like mentally prepare yourself for. Because honestly, sometimes we're just not there. Sometimes you just don't feel like studying, and it's fine, but you have to do it anyway. So I'm just, hopefully by the end of this video you can make studying feel a bit more casual and a bit more doable, a bit more realistic to you, and to personalize things for your own self. First thing I'm going to go through the resources that I used for A-level chemistry. So the first thing to do, if you haven't already done it, is to visit your exam board specification. So we've got different exam boards: AQA, Edexcel, OCR, and some other ones. I sat AQA, A-level chemistry. You can do a quick Google search and it should come up. Type in OCR, AQA, A-level chemistry exam specification, and it will come up. What the exam spec does is that it streamlines your learning. It's literally got bullet points of everything you need to know for your exam, or like what you need to know in terms of the course content, so that you can streamline your learning, so that when you pick up your book, it's tunnel vision. You know what the exam expects you to know, so you also know what you're studying, because you just don't want to be learning things and winging things. You don't want to be learning things that you don't necessarily have to know, and you don't want to be leaving out things that you need to know for your exams. So do that, get the exam spec up, make sure you know what you're expected to know, and make sure that you're studying according to the requirements. The second thing I did that was so useful to me was this website that I used. So it's called ChemRevise. This website, when I tell you, it's a lifesaver. They have made notes succinct. When I say succinct, I mean succinct, like straight to the point notes on everything that you need to know. And I think they do it for every exam board as well. Go onto the website, go onto AQA chemistry and revision notes, and there's like notes for every topic. This is the thing about studying smart and not hard. Why are you wasting your time making notes when resources like this already exist? What I did, I feel like everyone in my sixth form knew about this website. We all downloaded the notes that they have already made. It's not plagiarizing, you're not stealing anything. It's a publicly available resource for everyone to use. So go on there, print out the notes, download it. I don't care what you do, just get those notes, make sure they're available to you to use, and they give like such succinct notes, and it's laid out so well. Like it's laid out in like boxes, it's laid out in like bullet points, and yeah, you want to do that. Download all the notes they've got, make sure you have that in your bag. The third resource that I used was this workbook called Jim Clark A-Level AS Calculation. It's got questions and answers. Guys, when I tell you that this book saved me when it comes to physical chemistry, that's exactly what I mean. And what I found is that most of his questions are so similar to the questions you get in the A-level past paper exams, and so it's like a good way to usher yourself into studying with past papers. Okay, so it's got questions and it's also got answers, and I think it's even got explanations as to how they arrived at the answers that they had. So if you get anything wrong, which you will get a lot of stuff wrong, you know how to get it right, and you know what mistakes you made and how to correct it in the future. So I'd say get this book if you can. I did a quick search on Amazon and it was like 30 something pounds, but honestly I'm sure if you go on eBay you can get a second-hand one. It doesn't have to be a new book, so long as the previous owner hasn't made like terrible notes all over the book and you can read it. Just get it. It really did help me with my physical chemistry, because the thing with me is that I didn't take A-level maths, so I did chemistry, biology and economics, so that meant that I had to be on top of my stuff when it came to physical chemistry. I had to know what I was doing when it came to calculations, because I was in a class with people who were doing further maths and A-level maths, and I was doing economics. So to make sure that I was getting those chemistry questions right, I needed a bit more help, just because I wasn't doing A-level maths. So I think this book really helped me, and it will really help you if you're not doing A-level maths as well. And the fourth thing is that for me, I'm a visual learner, so I like to use like pictures, videos, just stuff that I can take notes of visually in my memory. I don't know if that sentence made any sense, but it makes sense to me. So this guy on YouTube, he's called eRental. I'm gonna put his name up here. He is so useful. I think again everyone in my sixth form watched him. I went onto his channel and I checked. I think the last video he made was about 3 or 4 years ago. But that's the thing though, it's only so many videos you can make. I think he's literally made every video there is to be made about A-level chemistry. So he hasn't made any recent videos, but that's all you need. Everything he has on his channel is all you need. He explains concepts so well. He takes you through questions and allows you some time for you to answer it, and then he goes through the answers with you. There are times that maybe I didn't understand something in class, I'd come home, go onto eRental's YouTube, he has a video on it, I literally watch it and things snap, things make much more sense. So make sure you visit his YouTube channel. It's such a good way to study. Again, another tip about making studying feel casual and not mundane: you could be having a quick snack, literally just go onto YouTube, go onto eRental, put a video of him up, and that's literally you studying. It won't feel like you're studying, but you are. And that's one way that I think really worked for me. I had to make studying feel more casual than like something that I had to mentally prepare for, to clear my desk for, I don't know, it's like dress up, go to the library for. Sometimes you just don't have the energy to do that, and these little things that you do, watching these videos whilst you're having a quick snack, it really does add up, it does accumulate to getting you those grades. So make sure you check him out, he's really good. And then it comes to one of the most important things, past papers. I know you've heard about past papers and you might be thinking, oh, I can't be asked to do them. I know past papers they can sound a bit overwhelming when you hear, because there's so many questions and you have to sit there and time yourself and do it and whatnot. But again, I'm gonna try and make this sound or make this feel a bit more casual to you. So what I did with past papers is, past papers are important, but I feel like how you use them is even more important than you just doing them. So what I did with past papers is that I went to a website that I could accumulate papers from, and you might ask, what website is that? Physics and Maths Tutor. They've got loads of past papers for different exam boards and for different papers, so paper 1, paper 2, AS, A2, stuff like that. So just make sure you've gathered past papers as much as you can, and then what I want you to do is to create a template or a log, a past paper log. I'm going to share a template with you that you can use, but what this log should contain is the year, so the past paper year, so 2017, 2018, whatever, just put the year in there. And then the first thing you want to have is what I call a blurt attempt. Okay, so what you want to do in your blurt attempt is to download the paper, and use half of the amount of time you're allowed in the real exam for your blurt attempt. Let's say you're allowed 90 minutes, an hour and a half in the real exam. For your first blurt attempt, I want you to use 45 minutes. Time yourself 45 minutes, just go through the paper, answer it as much as you can. You will do poorly on that paper, like you'll do so bad, and that is the point, that is the whole relevance of the blurt attempt. It's a wake-up call, because you'll do so bad on that attempt, you're gonna be like, Priscilla, I need to sit up and study. That's the whole essence of the blurt attempt. It sends signals going and reminds you that time is ticking and you need to sit up and start working. It's like a mock examination. You know how you do so badly on your first mock, you're like, damn, I need to start studying. That's what the blurt attempt is supposed to do for you. And then after you've done that, I want you to go and study. We're in March right now, so you should literally know every topic on your A-level exam. Your exam's starting in May, so I'm sure you have been told you've covered all topics at this point. So I want you to go and revise, make sure you get to the point where you feel a bit more comfortable, and then I want you to sit the second what I call the prepared attempt. Okay, for that one, use the whole amount of time you're allowed. So again, go back to your 90 minutes if you're allowed 90 minutes in the exam. Sit down, time yourself, do it to the best of your abilities. Hopefully you will see that you do better in your prepared attempts than you did on your blurt attempt. Okay, so at that point you'll feel a bit better about yourself. Yeah, you go get yourself a snack or something, you deserve it. After you've done your prepared attempt, get yourself a small book, like an A3 book or something, just a small book you can fit in your pocket. If you're on your phone a lot, you can just use a notes app for this. And I want you to create what I called a things I didn't know book, so a TIDK book. And what you're going to put in this book is all of the questions you got wrong and all their answers. So number one, I don't know, you got this calculation wrong, write the question out or type it, take screenshots, whatever. Just do what works for you and what is most time efficient. You want to put that question on there and then put the answer from the mark scheme right underneath it, and you want to do it for everything you got wrong in your prepared attempt. And what this book serves or stands for is that when you pick it up, everything you're learning is new learning. Everything you're going through in that book is things that you didn't know before, and it's so useful because it just keeps reminding you of how to answer those questions in the future when you come back to them. Okay, so and this book should contain have one for every subject. So chemistry, it should have physical chemistry in there, should have inorganic in there, should have organic in there. Because one mistake that people make is that they start revising physical and then they leave inorganic, they leave organic. But you need to remember that the exam, that your main exam, your end of year exam, or your real A levels is going to be on everything. It's not just going to be on physical. So you don't want to go so hard on physical and neglect everything else, okay? So this book, if it's chemistry, should contain everything, should have physical things, inorganic things, organic things, everything in there. So when you pick that book up, you're studying the whole of chemistry. The reason why I want it to be a small book, or I want it to be on your notes app, is so that you can whip it out anywhere. So I had like a little book that I could whip out, I don't know, on my way home, sitting on the bus. Again, that's the point. I'm trying to make studying sound or seem a bit more casual, because like I said before, you are not always going to feel like studying, but you can't wait till you feel like studying to actually start studying. Those exams are not waiting for you. They're gonna, like, if you've got a date for it, you're gonna have to sit it anyway. So just try to make it a bit more realistic and a bit more casual, so you can actually get good use of your time during these times that you're like on the bus and like waiting for food and stuff like that, okay? And then after that, a week or two after, I want you to come back and do the active recall attempt. In that attempt, you're relying on the information you've retained from the revision you did, from the paper you sat, and from the things that in notebook that you have been referring to. So hopefully in that active recall attempt, you should do better than you did in your prepared attempt. Like I said, I have a template on here that you can just use. You don't have to create this afresh. I've done this for you. But it was so helpful to me, and you want to set deadlines for yourself as well to achieve these things. I'm not going to set those deadlines for you, just make sure they work for you. In terms of setting targets, make sure that you're specific. So you've got short-term and long-term targets. Your long-term target when it comes to A levels is again A or an A star, but your short-term one should be things you can do daily or weekly to work towards getting that A or that A star. So it could be something like doing 2 past paper attempts this week. That is something that's doable. It could be, I don't know, going through Jim Clark and doing 30 questions this week. It should be something that can be attainable, something that can be measurable, something that you can look back and measure your improvement or measure your progression. And that's where the past paper tracker spreadsheet thing comes in, because you're going to put what mark you got for your blurt attempt, for your prepared attempt, and for the active recall attempt as well. And hopefully you should see that as you do that, your grades should be progressing. You should be doing better and better as you go through those 3 stages. This is the part that people neglect so much: exam reports. So after your exams have been marked, the chief examiner, he collects or collates information from different examiners all over the UK over how they think the exam went. So if there's been like a pattern of inaccuracies, if they've received like similar wrong answers from so many different candidates, they put all of that information in the exam report. So what the exam report helps you do is to see what mistakes that people have made in the past. And most times when I went through the exam report, so that most of the mistakes that they flagged up I actually made when I sat the paper. So it just helps you to see that other people misunderstood the question, or that they structured the essay wrong if it's an essay, and you know how to go about it yourself as well. So I'd say definitely have a look at the exam reports as well. They're so useful. So going back to the TIDK book, it should be personalized and full of answers to questions that you did not know. You should keep it small and handy so you can whip it up, whip it out anywhere you are. People won't even notice that you're revising, like it'll be so small. Or if it's on your phone, they won't even realize that you are, so you don't feel too ashamed or whatever. You should make one for each subject. So if you're taking 3 A levels, you should have a TIDK book for chemistry, biology, for economics, okay? Make it work for you, literally. What works for me might not necessarily work for you, but you should do things that do work for you. And then it brings me to the last part, so timetabling. I've included a template that again you can use, but you need to block out time for yourself, block out time for school if you're going to school. Obviously, if you're on your Easter holidays, you might or might not be going to school, so that will depend on how your day is being structured. But block out time for family, for relaxation. Make sure that your timetable is not scary. it does not overwhelm you. Like I said, going back to SMART targets, be specific. It should be something that can be measurable, should be attainable, should be realistic to you. You need it to work for you, okay? And it should be achievable in that time that you've allotted to it. For me, when I was in school, I like to stay after school to do some work. So let's say on a Monday, my timetable would look like from 7 to 3, blocked out for school, and then after 3, let's say I close at 3, I'll take 30 minutes for myself just to chill, get some snacks from the store or something, and then from 3:30 to 5:30, from 3:30 to 5 or whatever, I'd stay back and do some work. If I had any homework to do, I'll do it in school, so when I come home I don't have to bother myself with homework, and I actually do some good revision towards my exam. It'll take me like an hour to get home, so I'll block out that hour as well for travel. I'll get home, let's say around 7:30. Best believe I am not studying when I get home immediately. I'll eat, I'll talk to my family, whatever. So let's say by 8:30 or 9, I'm gonna start revising again, and I'll revise from like 9 to 10:30. And so I'll block that time out for revision, okay? So it's got so many components that my life doesn't feel like all I'm doing is revising, okay? So yeah, again, you should block out some time to do things that do matter to you. Go to the gym, go to church, go and pray, look. You should have a life whilst you're preparing for your A-levels, okay? This too shall pass, but you should enjoy the moment and you should enjoy the process. So yeah, I just hope that this has been helpful. As always, let me know if you have any questions, any queries in the comment section. I try to reply. It might take a while, but I'll reply. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful. All the best in your A-level exams. If I could do it, so can you. And make sure again that you subscribe and turn your post notifications on, because I think your A-levels are starting sometime in May. So I'm going to be making like videos to help you through, just so you feel like there's someone on YouTube you can watch for this crucial term, for this crucial part of your life. And honestly, you'll be fine. You'll come out of this and you'll be so proud of yourself for putting in the work. So all the best. Let me know if there are any videos I haven't made yet that you want me to make. Peace out, all the best, and I'll see you in the next one.